everyone. Today we are going to discuss the first semester examination March 2024 maths paper of grade 9. Okay, let's start from the part 1 first question. Okay, first one says factorize fully. Okay, you have to factorize this expression. Okay, let's see what are the common factors that are there in this two terms, this one and this one. You can see that the first thing we can do is we can factorize every number into its prime factors. Let's say we can write 6 as 3 times 2 times m minus 2 times m times p. Okay, now you can see the factors clearly. So 2 is a common factor. You can get 2 out. Then we have this. Then again you can see m is common. We can take m also out. Then we are left with this. So this is the factorization that can be done to the Roman number 1 question. Okay. So this one. You can see that P is common for both of these. You can take P out. If we take P out, we are left with P squared minus 1. And also, this P squared minus 1 can be wrote as this. Okay. So, this is something like this. Okay. You know that if we see something like a squared minus b squared, we can write this into two factors like this. Okay. So if we multiply these two, we will get this. So if we see something like this, always we can put 1 squared, no? For 1, we can put 1 square because 1 squared means 1 times 1, it's always equal to 1. So that's why I put 1 squared in the place of 1. Okay. Then we can factorize this like that. Okay. And B part, expand and simplify. So now we have to expand, not factorize, but expand. Okay. So h plus 3 times h minus 2. Okay. First, I have to multiply both these things with h. Then I get h squared minus 2 times h. Then with this other 3h minus 6. Okay. Now we can write h squared plus h minus 6. So this is the most simplified expanded version. Okay. Now in the C part, they say us to solve this equation. Equation means we have a equal sign and we have two sides to the equation. Right hand side and left hand side. Okay. Now if we want to find the value of something that we don't know, example, we can say x. We don't know the value of x. That's the variable present in this equation. So to find the value of x, we have to keep all the x terms in one side and numerical terms in the other side. So first I'll try to take all the x values into the left hand side. So to do that, I have to get rid of this 2x on the right hand side. So to do that, I will subtract 2x from both sides. Then you will see what happens. These two cancels out. Now I have 7x minus 2x minus 1 plus 1. Okay, so when you are dealing with the equation, always do the same thing to both sides. Okay, so these two I can simplify. I get 5x. Now again I have minus 1. I have to take minus 1 to the other side. Then all the numerical values I have to take to the other side. Okay, now I put plus 1 to both sides. Now you will see what happens. This thing cancels out. Then we are left with 5x and the other side we have plus 2. And we can find the value of 5x by dividing both sides by 5. Okay, now these two cancels out. So you can see the value of x. X equals 2 over 5. So that's the answer, 2 over 5. Okay. And here they have given us the first four terms of an arithmetic sequence. Okay. So what they are asking, find an expression in terms of n for the nth term of the sequence. Okay. So when it comes to arithmetic sequences, okay, when it comes to arithmetic sequences, we know we can find some values. Okay. So a is the first term, d is the common difference, and n is the number of terms. Okay. How can we find the first term? It's right there. This is the first term. So a equals 12. And how can we find d? We just have to subtract the previous term from the next term. So 7 minus 12 gives us the d, common difference. So 7 minus 12 gives us minus 5. So that's the common difference. So now we know all the things we need to know to get the nth term expression. Okay. So this thing you have to remember. Okay. There is a expression you have to remember. Tn. Tn means nth term. If we want to find the nth term, use this expression. Use this formula. Tn equals a plus n minus 1 times d. So this is the equation. So a is 12, n minus 1. We have to keep n here because in terms of n, we have to find an expression in terms of n for the nth term. Okay. So always in the nth term, n is there. Okay, and d value is minus 5. Now we have found the nth term. 12 minus 5n plus 5. Okay, we can simplify more. 12 plus 5 is 17 minus 5n. Okay, that's the final answer. Okay, now in the B part, they are asking work out the 40th term of the sequence. Okay, so T40 is the thing we have to find. So the n equals 40. Now, using this equation, we can find the 40th term. In the place of n, we put 40. Okay, then we can get the value. Yeah, 17 minus 5 times 4. So 17 minus 5 times 40 is 200. So we get the value as 183 minus 183. Okay. Now in the C part, given that the following three terms are in arithmetic sequence, Work out the value of x. Show your work. Okay, they are telling us these are uh, in an arithmetic sequence. That means all these things have common difference d. Okay, those two should be equal. Okay, what is the common difference? Meaning, if we add the common difference to this one, we will get this. Okay, that's true. No? Our common difference is -5. If we add 12 plus -5, we get 7. Like that, if we add uh, 7 plus -5, we get 2. Like that. That's how a arithmetic sequence forms. Okay. So then if it is an arithmetic sequence, these two differences should be, the common difference should be equal. So in using these two terms, we can get the common difference 9 minus 2x. Always next and then subtract the previous term from the next term. Okay. So this should be equal to common difference between these two. 3x plus 3 minus 9. Okay. Then we can simplify 3x minus 6, 9 minus 2x. Okay. Now we have to take x terms to the other side and numerical term to one side. Okay. So let's add 2x to both sides. It will cancel out this. 9 equals 3x plus 2x minus 6. Let's add 6 to both sides. Then we get 5x. These two cancel out, equals 50. So x equals 1. Sorry, x equals 3. Then we divide both sides by 5. We get x equals 3. Okay. And the third question, we have to simplify. Okay. Simplify. So you have to remember, if we have something like this is a power of a power. So we call this power of a power. So when we have a power of a power, what we do is we multiply these two times 2 and put it as the power. So x squared is there in this notation. Okay. So let's see. So now we have a power of a power y to the power 3 to the power 2. So these two should be multiplied. 3 times 2 times y minus 2. Okay, we get y 6, y to the power 6, y to the power minus 2. Now if we have the same base, we can always add the numbers that are in the power. Okay, let's say 2 to the power 2 times 2. This should be equal to 2 to the power 3 because here we have 1. So that's true. No? 4 times 2 is 8. Like that. We can add these two and put it here. 6 minus 2 equals y to the power 4. Okay. Now simplify to k to the power minus 4 square. Okay. Now this should be equal. So when we have a power of a power and two terms multiplied inside a bracket, this power of a power goes to the all the terms. Okay. So 2 to the power 2 times k to the power minus 4 to the power 2. Okay. Now we have 2 to the power 2 times these two should be multiplied. K to the power minus 8. Okay. So now we can further simplify 4k to the power minus 8. Okay. And in the fourth question, write the simplest form of 4 to 3 to 1 to 6. Okay. So first thing, we can get rid of this denominator. Okay. To do that, we can multiply both the parts of the ratio from the largest denominator. Okay. So we can multiply both sides. Always do the same thing to both sides. 2, 1, 1, 1. Okay. Then we get 8 to 1. And in the B part, in a vehicle park, there are motorcycles and cars. The ratio of the number of motorcycles to the number of cars is 7 to 4. If there are 35 motorcycles in the park, find the number of cars in the park. Okay. So 7 to 4 motorcycles and cars. And they have given us how many motorcycles are there. 35 motorcycles are there. And this is the value we don't know. So what we can do is these two ratio should be equal. And we can write a ratio as a fraction. And then we make these two similar. Okay. So you can write the first part of the ratio in top, and like this you can write. Okay. Then let's take this as x. 7x equals 35 times 4. 35 times 2 is 70 and 140 we can put. Okay, now to get rid of this 7, divide both sides by 7. So x equals 20. In the fifth question, they are asking us to work out the value of x. So in this thing, if we want to work out the value of x, they haven't given us these two are parallel or not. So we can't use alternate angles or uh, these two angles. So we only can use this property, angles on a straight line. So you know that angles on a straight line will always add up to 180. So that thing we can always use because this is a straight line. So we have two angles on the straight line. So we can say x plus 15 plus 4x plus 5 should be equal to 180. Okay. Then we can simplify this. 5x plus 20 equals 180. Okay. 5x equals 180 minus 20. So that means 5x equals 160. X equals 160 divided by 5. So 160 divided 5 will give us 3, 2, 32. So x equals 32 degrees. Okay, now we have to show that AC and EF are parallel. Now only we have to show these two are parallel. They haven't given it. Okay, so you know if we want to show that these two are parallel, we can either use alternate angles or uh, addition of these two should be 180. So these two angles are called interior angles. So these two are interior angles. So we can say or interior angles. Uh, These two are the two methods we can use. So we know that alternate angles should be equal. And interior angles, what it does, adds up to 180. So these are the two things that if AC and EF are parallel, these two things happen. So we can use either thing to show that these two are parallel. Let's say we found the let's say we are using the alternate angle method. So let's find the value of 3x plus 37. That gives us 96 plus 37. I substituted the x value here. It gives us 3 and 133. So then we can find 4x plus 5. It gives us 128 plus 5. That also gives 133. So 3x plus 37 equals 4x plus 5 because 133 equals 133. Therefore, AC and EF are parallel. We can say alternate angles. And also, if we find x plus 5, I'll do it here. Let's find the value of x plus 5. This one gives us 37. So now, these two, sorry, not 37, x plus 15. X plus 15 means it gives us uh, 15 plus 32. 15 plus 32, 47. So this gives us 47. And we know 3x plus 37 is 133. Let's see whether this gives us 180. That's 47 plus 133. You can see these two adds up to 180. Therefore, AC and EF are parallel. Reason being interior angles. Okay, so that's the two methods. Okay, now we have to represent the inequality, this inequality on the number line given. Okay, the first thing you have to mark this number on the number line given. Okay, first do not color the dot, just put a round on this given number and check whether you have here just the lesser than or greater than sign or with the equal sign. So this means this is a combination of these two. Okay, this is a combination of these two. Okay, so we have an equal sign also. This we can say the expression shown here as x is lesser than or equal to minus 1. This means lesser than or equal. So that means we can color this dot. Inside of the dot we can color. Okay, now see x values are lesser than or equal. So x should be smaller than minus 1. That's correct. X should be smaller than minus 1. So let's see if x is there. What are the smaller numbers? Where are the smaller numbers to x are in the right hand side or left hand side? You can see if we go this side, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that increases. So greater numbers are in the right hand side. So lesser numbers are there. They are in the left hand side. So we can color this entire area. Okay. I hope that you got that. Then let's go to the B part. Solve the inequality. Just think of this as a equal sign and do the work. When you solve one inequality, what you have to remember is if you multiply both sides by a minus number or minus sign, you have to interchange the unequal sign. So if the initially unequal sign was lesser than, then after you multiply by a negative number, you have to change it to this. Also, let's say if you have something like this, then you take the reciprocal. Okay. Now also this should change. So these are the two rules when you have to remember when you do an inequality question. Okay. Now first we can expand this bracket 5m plus 10, 3m minus 1. Okay. So we can take this 10 to the other side. It will become minus once come to the other side. So this thing also we can take to the other side. 5m minus 3m minus 11. Okay, now we have 2m greater than minus 11. Okay, m is greater than minus 11 over 2. Okay, this is the answer after solving this inequality. So you can show the answers on a number line also. So first put the value that is present in the inequality. It is minus 11 over 2. So check whether you have an equal sign here or not. No, no equal sign. So let's see m is lesser than or greater than. Now you can see m is greater than minus 11 over 2. So we should color this side. Okay. These are the answers for m. Okay. So in the C part, given that this inequality x is an integer, write all the positive integers of x. All the positive integers. Okay. It is better, I think, if you can draw this in on a number line. So this inequality starts on minus 2, goes up until 3.2. Okay. Let's roughly put the numbers in between minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So starting from minus 2, it is greater than, x is greater than minus 2. X is greater side. Greater means this side. Okay. The mouth is open on the greater side. Mouth is closer on the lesser side. Okay. So in the x side, mouth is open. So x is greater than minus 2. So greater numbers are there in this starting from here till infinity. Okay. So this side we should color. But now we have to color only the region that satisfies both the inequalities. So we have now two inequalities. So first one gives us this side, and also it has an equal sign, so we have to color this dot, and again we have to mark 3.2 and see now x is on the lesser side, so that means from here to here. So now you can see both the inequalities color the range in between. So now this is the uh, range that belongs to this inequality, but now only they are asking positive integers. 0 is not a positive integer, it is not positive or negative. So only 1, 2 and 3 are positive integers. 3.2, 1.2 like that doesn't belong to negative integers. Only whole numbers and 0 are integers. But here they specifically say positive integers. So then we can't take 0 also. So 1, 2, 3 are the possible positive integers. Okay. Then seventh question, a is given as 1.5 times 10 to the power 20 and b equals 5.2 times 10 to the power 19. Showing all your working, find out the value of a minus b. Give your answer in standard form. Showing all your working, find out the value of a minus b. Okay. So a minus b, we can write it times 10 to the power 20 minus b is 5.2 times 10 to the power 19. Okay. Now we can take out 10 to the power 19. 10 to the power 19 taken out. We will get 1.5 times 10 minus 5.2. Okay. Now we can simplify. 10 to the power 19, 15 minus 5.2. So this gives us 9.8 times 10 to the power 19. Okay, this is the answer, and also it is in standard form. Okay, now this one we have to write in standard form. What is the uh, usual notation in standard form? Always the first number should be in between 1 and 10. So doesn't we can't put 10 because in between 1 and 10. Okay, so only one uh, digit should be there on the ones place. Okay, so it should be something like after the decimal point there must be one digit. Okay, so like that, that's the uh, usual notation of standard form, and it will be multiplied by 10 to the power something. Okay, this is the usual notation. So when we write this number in standard form, what we have to do is initially the decimal point is here. So if we want to convert this number into a number between 1 and 10, we have to take this decimal point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places to the left hand side. Okay. So after that we will get 7.21 times, we have to put how many times we go to left as 10 to the power positive 5. Okay. So if we go to the right hand side, we put it as negative. Okay. So let's see this. Write this in normal form. Okay. Now the decimal point is in between 3 and 2 here. So we have the power minus 2. So that means this number, if there is a standard form number with a negative power, that means this number is actually more smaller than this. So if we want to make it smaller, we have to take the decimal point into the left hand side. So we can write it as from here to two places, it will become something like this. Okay. So always remember, if the power is positive, let's say this number is a large number. If the power is negative, this number is a small number. That thing you have to remember. Okay. Also write 210 as product of prime factors. Okay, prime factors mean 2, 3, 5, 7. After 7 we have 11, like that, prime numbers. You know what prime numbers are, right? Only 1 and the number itself are only the fractions. Okay? So we can't take 4 as a prime number because it has 1, 2 and 4, 3 numbers. So prime numbers has 1 and the number itself as the factors, only 2 factors. Okay. So let's start dividing by prime factors, prime factors. So we are starting always from the smallest prime number, that's 2. When we divide by 2, we will get 105. Okay. After this, we can divide by, let's see, we have to, whether we can divide this by 3. Yeah, we can divide by 3. After dividing by 3, we get 35. Then we can divide this by 5. Then we get 7. Okay. So these are the prime factors we have. Until we get 1 here, we can divide. So now these are the prime factors. So we can write 210 as 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. Okay, now find the highest common factor, HCF of 42. So to do that, what we have to do is find the prime factors of 42. Start from 2, 21, 3, 7. Okay, now we get 2, 3, 7. Again divide by 100 and divide 105 by prime factors. Divide by 3, we get 35. 5, 7. Okay. Now we have 105. We got 3, 5, 7. Okay. Now we can find common factors from here. 3 is common, and again 7 is common. So HCF is 21. Okay. Okay, now in the ninth question, they have given us a equation of a line. Okay, equation of a line. Now they are telling us to find the gradient. Okay, we know that if we have this kind of line, this is the gradient. Okay. So similarly, if we convert this given equation into this type of form, we can find the answer. Okay, so this is 3x minus 2y equals 1. So we have to make it this form. Okay, so we have to isolate y in one side. So I take 2y to the other side. To do that, I add 2y to both sides. Okay, then I get 3x. These two cancels out equals 1 plus 2y. And we have to get rid of this minus plus 1. To do that, I add minus 1 to both sides. Okay, now I get 3x minus 1 equals 2y. Okay, then I divide by 2 both sides. Then I get y equals 3 over 2x minus 1 over 2. Now what is m? M is 3 over 2. So this is the coefficient of x. That's the value of m. Okay. Then now they are saying line Q is perpendicular to the line M. Okay. Line Q and line M are perpendicular like this. So line M's gradient is 3 over 2 and we have to find Q's gradient. Okay. So then we can say gradient of line M and gradient of line Q should be equal to minus 1 when multiplied, because these two are perpendicular. If two lines are perpendicular, we can say that those gradients when multiplied should be equal to minus 1. Okay. Then 3 over 2 times mq equals minus 1. This one I will take to the other side. Mq equals minus 1 times 2 over 3. Okay, now then we get 2 over 3 minus. That's the Q's gradient. Okay. Now 10. Use algebra to show that recurring decimal point 25 equals 23 over 90. Okay. So the first thing is identify how many numbers are recurring. So you can say there's only one dot. Therefore, only 5 is recurring. You can write it as like this. Okay. So I'll take first this as x, and then if there's only one recurring number, I multiply this by 10. So then 10x 2.5555. But now you see these two things, these numbers align with each other. Okay, so we can put another 5 here because we multiplied by 10. All the things shift to the left hand side by one place. So to fill the gap, I put another 5 because this is repeating until infinity. So it doesn't matter if we take another 5 to this. It doesn't matter. So now I can take this as 2, this as 1 and this as 2. So 2 minus 1, I get 9x equals 2.55555. 0.25555. Now you see why this is important to add 1 5 to the end. Okay, now when subtracting these, all of these are becoming 0. Till infinity it becomes 0. So after subtracting I get 2.3 plus. Then after that I get 2.3 x equals 2.3 over 9. I can write it by multiplying both sides, both numerator and denominator by 10. I can write it as 23 over 90. Okay. Okay, the 11th one. So when we are given this kind of question, what we can do is identify the lower bound and upper bound of every single term. Okay. For P, we have to get the lower bound, upper bound. T also X. So P's lower bound. So the formula to get the lower bound is C plus X over 2. Sorry. Upper bound is C plus X over 2. Lower bound is C minus X over 2. Okay. So the c is the original value given. In this case it is 10.6. X is the accuracy they have given. Okay, so let's find the lower bound and upper bound of p. So lower bound of p, we can put it as c minus x over 2. So c value is 10.6. Here they say 10.6 is correct to one decimal place. Okay, so always put 1 in the place they are saying. So one decimal place means zero point 0.1. So this x value is this 0.1 and it should be divided to 2. Okay, now then we get 10.6 minus 0.05. Okay, then we can get the answer 10.55. Okay, similarly we can get the upper bound of p, c plus x over 2. So x over 2 similar, 10.6 plus 0.05. Okay, then I get 10.65. Okay, then after t's lower bound. Okay, then I get for as c. Now they are saying one significant figure. According to this number 4, what is the first significant figure? 4. So put the given place they are saying 1. So after putting 1 in the first significant figure, we get 1. So now x is 1 divided by 2. Okay. So this is the upper bound. Always the upper bound is the maximum number. So then we get 4.5. So the lower bound 4 minus 1 over 2. So that's 3.5. Again, we can take x, upper bound and lower bound. Upper bound is c plus x over 2, x being, now here one significant figure, correct to one significant figure. So what is the first significant figure? What is the first significant figure? That's 1. Okay, so first significant figure is 1. And in this place, put 1. We get the answer as 1. So x is 1 divided by 2. So we will get 1.7 as upper bound. So the lower bound we get 1.2 minus 1 over 2. So then what we get is 0.7. Upper bound and bounds and lower bounds are, we found the upper bounds and lower bounds. Then we can calculate up highest possible value of m. Highest possible value of m means upper bound of m. Okay, upper bound of m. Okay, but now you see that we have here is a division. Okay, we have here a division. Okay, so then this term should be taken as one term. Okay, so then we have to find upper bound and lower bound of t minus x. Okay, so upper bound of t minus x, what is upper bound of t minus x? Okay, so upper bound means maximum possible number. So we will get the upper bound of t minus x if we subtract a smaller number from a larger number. So now we have to put the upper bound of t here. Upper bound means t's maximum value, and subtract the lowest value of x. Okay, then only we get the upper bound of t minus x. So x lower bound. So upper bound of t is 4.5 minus lower bound of x is 0.7. So then we get the answer as 3.8. Okay. So then lower bound of t minus 6. If we want to get the lowest possible, what we have to do is subtract a larger number from a smaller number. So smallest number that is possible for t is lower bound, and a larger number of x is t's upper bound. T lower bound is 3.5. X upper bound is 1.7. Okay, then we get 2.8, 1.8. That's the value we get. 2.8, yeah, 2.8 minus 1, 1.8. Okay. So work out the highest possible value of it. Now we have to again logically think. Okay. So we have this. So let me tell you, we want the highest possible value, so we have to get the upper bound. So if we have a constant denominator, let's say 3 and 4 over 3. Now you can see, even using a calculator you can find this answer. Can you tell me what is the largest number of these two? What is the largest number of these two? First thing gives us 2 divided by 3, that's 0.667. And this thing gives us 4 divided by 3, it's 1.33. So this is larger, you can see. So you can see, when we are considering about numerators, if we have the largest number in the numerator, we get the largest fraction. Okay. So if we want to get the highest possible value for m, this p value should be higher. So we have to get p's upper bound. And then we have to consider t minus x. Okay. Now I will make the numerator same and use two denominators. Okay. Now considering these two, let's see which gives us the largest value. Okay, this gives us 0.667. This gives us 0.5. Okay, because this is 1 over 2. Okay, now you can see this one is the largest value. So if the denominator is smaller, then only we get the largest fraction. Okay, so if we want to get the largest fraction, always the numerator should be larger, denominator should be smaller. Okay, for t minus x, we have to get t minus x lower bound. Okay, now p upper bound is this 10.65, and it should be divided by t minus x lower bound. T minus x lower bound is 1.8. So this gives us the answer 10.65 divided by 1.8. It gives us 5.916, or we can say 5.92. Okay. Okay, then in the B part, length of one side of an equilateral triangle is 24 centimeters. Correct to the nearest centimeter. Length of one side of an equilateral triangle is 24 centimeters. Correct to nearest centimeter. Okay. So we work out the lower bound of the perimeter of the triangle. Okay, one side is 24. We can find the lower bound and upper bound. 24 centimeters. Okay. Lower bound is 24 minus x over 2. C minus x over 2. Yeah, that's the thing. And you can see the correctness, accuracy is given here. Nearest centimeter. So x value is nearest centimeter. So 1 centimeter. So this is 23.5. Upper bound is 24 plus x over 2. That means 24 plus 1 over 2. That's 24.5. So if we want to get the lower bound of the entire triangle, what we have to do is add these 24s by not using the 24 but the lower bound of 24. Okay. So if we want to find the perimeter, what we have to do is add lower bound 3 times. That means 3 times 23.5. Okay. That gives us 70.5. Okay. That's the answer. Okay. In the 12th question, in class, ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls are 5 to 7. Work out the percentage of girls in the class. Okay. This is a scenario they have given. They haven't given us the total number, but they say for every 5 boys, there are 7 girls. Okay. So we can use this to get the percentage of girls in the class. So let's say if this is true, this is the scenario. There is only 5 boys in the class, and there are 7 girls in the class. So if this ratio is true, if the simplest ratio is there in the class, then we can say the total is 5 plus 7. So that's 12. So the fraction of girls in the class we can write as 7 over 12. So what is the percentage now? Percentage is if the number of students in the class is 100, how many girls are there? That's the meaning of percentage. So this fraction, the girls fraction, we have to multiply by 100. So that's the answer. So 700 divided by 12. Then we get 58.33. Okay. Now in the B part, we get Ashan spend 1/4 of his monthly salary for food and 15% of the salary for the rent. Rest of the salary is deposited in the bank. Work out the percentage of the salary deposited. Okay. First, if we can find this percentage of this fraction, we can add it to this fraction and subtract from 100 and find the percentage. Okay. So 1/4, we can find the percentage by multiplying by 100. So we can find it. It's 25%. Okay. So total number of so we can work out the percentage of salary deposited. Because whole salary is 100. We have to subtract 15 and 25 from the whole. Okay. 100 minus 25 minus 50. We get 60. So he deposited 60% of his salary. Okay. In the 13th one, they are given us to solve these simultaneous equations. Okay. So by looking at these three, can you see that there's any way if we directly subtract or add 1 and 2? Is there a way to solve this question? No. Okay. then what we can do is we can multiply 1 by 3 and subtract 2. Okay. Then h, after multiplying 1 by 3, what we get is 1 by 3. We get 9k plus 3h equals minus 9. Okay. This is what we get after multiplying 1 by 3. Now if we subtract this thing will cancel out with this. Okay, that's what we are going to do. So 9k plus 3h minus 2k minus 3h. So that we can write as this. And minus 3 times 3 minus 5. Okay. Now we can simplify 9k plus 3h minus 2k minus 3h minus 9 minus 5. Okay, and 7k equals minus 14. So then k equals 14 divided by 7, we get minus 2. And then subtract minus 2 to any other equation. Then we get h equals 6 minus 3 equals 3. Okay. K is minus 2, h is 3. So then we have to simplify this thing. We can write it as this. By looking at this 18, we can write 18 as this, 9 times 2. If there's multiplication or division inside a square root sign, we can make it as two different numbers multiplied. So root 9 times root 2. We cannot do it to one of something like this. If we wrote like this is wrong. Okay. For subtraction and addition, we can't do that. But if multiplication and division are there, we can separate this into two square roots. So this is that 5 root 2 and root 9 we know 3 root 2. So final thing we can write 8 root 2. Okay, now without using a calculator, rationalize the denominator of this thing, give the simplest form of your answer, show all your workings. Okay. So always if we are given to rationalize the denominator, what we do is change the sign in middle of these two terms and multiply both numerator and denominator by the sign change term. Okay. So if there is minus, we put plus and multiply both denominator and numerator. If there is plus, we put minus here. Okay. So then after multiplying, what we get is 4 times 3, 12. 4 times root 3, we get 4 root 3. And in the bottom, we now have something like this in the bottom. So you know that this we can write as this. So similarly, we can write it 3 square minus root 3 square. So the rationalizing means, rationalizing the denominator means clear the root signs, root numbers from the denominator. That's the meaning of rationalizing the denominator. Okay. So we can take 4 out, common factor, sorry. This over 3 squared 9 minus 3. For 3 root 3, 3 plus root 3, sorry, over 6. We can cancel out common factors. Then again we can put 2, 3 plus root 3 over 3. Okay, that's the answer. Now in the 15th one, sum of the interior angles of a polygon is 2340. Okay. Find the nearest side of the polygon. Find the on the number of sides of the polygon. Okay. Sum of the interior angles of a polygon is 2340. Find the number of sides of the polygon. 2340. Okay. So what we can do? We know if there is this kind of a polygon. Now we have 6 sides. All the exterior angles should be added up to 360. So these are the exterior angles. If we measure the angles of these exterior angles, and we will get 360. So that thing we can use. Okay, let's think this polygon is a regular polygon, meaning all the sides are equal, then all the exterior and interior angles are also equal. So let's take this as x. Okay, so again we don't know uh, how many sides are there. So we can say if all these things are x, exterior angles are x, if there is n number of sides, then how many x's are there? N times. Okay. So then n times x should be equal to 360. Okay. So then this is true. And again, we know that if this is x, this is 180 minus x. Okay. So all of this becomes 180 minus 6. Okay. If n number of sides are there, 180 minus x times n should be equal to this given value, 2340. Okay, now we have two equations. We can use this to find the value of n. Now here nx is 360. Here we can expand this 180 n minus xn equals 2304. So 1 and 2, we can substitute the value of nx from 360 minus 360 equals 2304. So then 180 n remains here. I take 360 the other side. Now it becomes this 2700. So we can find n by dividing 2700 by 180. So we get 2700 divided by 180. We get as 50. Okay. So that's the way to find the number of sides of the polygon. Okay. So in the B part, in a regular polygon, the size of an interior angle is 4 times the size of an exterior angle. Okay. So what they are telling is, in a regular polygon, the size of an interior angle is 4 times the size of an exterior angle. So let's take x as the exterior angle. So 4 times the size of the exterior angle is interior angle. So 4x is the interior angle. So one relationship we can get is always x plus 4x should be equal to 180 because angles on a straight line. That's it. And it becomes 5x equals 180. So x equals 180 divided by 5. So that we get 3x 18 has three fives. So then 15, 30, and 36. Okay. So x equals 36. So that's the exterior angle value. Find the number of sides of the polygon. So then now it's easy. One exterior angle is 36. So all the exterior angles should be added up to 360. So n is the number of sides. So now we can find n 360 divided by 336, we get 10. Okay. So then we come to 16. Now show that this thing is equal to this. Okay. So what we can do is we have now LHS and left hand side and right hand side. Okay. So first thing we can do is simplify all these things. Okay. First thing we can multiply this and add to this. Denominator doesn't change. 2 times 7 plus 1 divided by 11 over 5 doesn't have to simplify. 4 times 7 plus 5 over 7. Okay. Now this is 15 over 7 divided by 5, 11, and 28 plus 5, 33 over 7. Now it is easier. Let's take LHS and show that this thing comes when we solve this part. 15 over 7 divided by 5 over 11. So we can get the reciprocal and change this into multiplication. 15 over 7 times 11 over 5. 5 and this we can simplify. 3, 1. So now we get 33 over 7. And again we can turn this 33 into this. Okay. So if we divide 33 by 7, we get 4. We are remain with 5. Okay. So then we can write 4. 4 whole numbers are there and 7, 5 over 7 is there. So we show that this thing is equal to this fraction. Okay. And the 17th one, the line H is drawn on the grid. Okay, this is the line. Find the equation of line H. So to do that, the easiest thing is find 2 points on the graph. So these are known points on the graph. So it is better if you can find points on these cross points. Okay, so then we can easily get the values. So these are 2 cross points I selected. So this is 3, 6, and this is 0, 1. So using that, we can get the gradient. Gradient m is equal to y difference divided by x difference. 6 minus 1 divided by 3 minus 0. So always if you subtract this value from this value, do the same to both. Okay. So I subtracted this value from this 6 minus 1 and 3 minus 0. So we get 5 over 3. So this is the gradient. Then y-intercept we can straight find from the graph. The point where the graph crosses the y-axis, and the y value is the y-intercept. So y-intercept c is equal to 1. So y equals mx plus c. Y equals m is 5 over 3, x plus 1. C is 1. Okay. Okay. So the 18th question. Now, in this question, they are giving us they are telling us to give your answer in a simplest form. So it is containing these two indices. So this is 3 to the power minus 1 plus 3 to the power 0. We know that any number 0th power is 1. So this is 1. 3 to the power minus 1 we can write as 1 over 3. Okay. So now we can add 1 over 3 plus, and 1 we can write as 3 over 3. So then this will give us 1. So now these two cancel, sorry, don't cancel these two, 3 over 3. And again we can add because denominators are same. So 3 common denominator over 4. So 4 over 3. So this is the simplest answer. And in the B part, they are telling us to work out the value of n. Okay. So first thing, we have to find the answer of this value. 0.03 to the power 3 equals 2.7 times 10 to the power n. Okay. So we can write this as 3 over 100. Okay. 3 over 100 to the power 3 equals 2.7 times 10 to the power n. Okay. 3 to the power 3 means, so we can write this putting cube power into both numerator and denominator separate. And this means 3 to the power 3 we can write it as 27 over 10 to the power 6 equals 2.7 times 10 to the power n. Okay, I'll take it here. 27 I can write as 10 to the power minus 6 equals 2.7 times 10 to the power n. Okay, now we have to make this 2.7. So to do that, I take minus 1 to here. Now it is 27. I make it 2.7 by taking 1 minus 1 power from minus 6. Then we are left with minus 5. Okay. So if you didn't get what I do, I'll write it again. I can write this 10 to the power minus 6 as this. Because these two added, we get minus 6. Now this thing I can write, sorry, 27. Sorry. 27 times 10 to the power minus 1, I can write as 2.7. Then minus 5 is remaining. So this equal to this one. So now these two cancels out. So these two are similar. N equals minus 5. Again, the 19th question, we have to get this to this form into one form. Okay, so first thing 2.4 to 0.6. I can write this as or otherwise I can multiply both sides by same number. Then I get 24 to 6. Then I can divide by 6. Then I get 4 to 1. So always do the same thing to both sides, multiplying or dividing. We can't add or subtract. Always we can do the same thing, multiplying or dividing to both sides. Okay. Now work out the value of this fraction to the power minus 2. 2 over 3. This. Then what we can do is, we can make this a positive power by taking the reciprocal. 3 over 2 to the power 2. Okay. Then we can put the power separately to 2 and 3. Then it becomes 9 over 4. I can even write decimal value. It is 4.5 divided by 2, 2.25. So 2.25. Okay. Now in the C part, They are telling us 3 over 8 of the cards in a bag are red. Rest of the cards are blue. Find the number of blue cards in the bag. Find the number of blue cards in the bag. Okay. If they haven't given us how many, the total number of cards, they haven't given us this value. Mhm. So we can assume if there is only 8 cards, total cards are 8, then I can say that from 8, 3 cards are red. So how many cards are left? I can say blue cards are 8 minus 3. So that's 5. Okay. So they haven't given us the total, then we cannot say directly how many blue cards are there, but we can assume if there's 8 cards, then 5 must be blue. Okay. Then the 20th one, then 20th one, they have given us a triangle. Work out the value of x. They're telling us to work out the value of x. Okay. So they have given us here you can see these two sides are equal. Okay. These two sides are equal. So then I can put x here also because these two angles are similar when it is uh, when it's two sides are equal. Then both those angles are also equal. Then we can see then we can see these three are interior angles of a triangle. Okay, so interior angles of a triangle should add up to 180. Okay, now we can add all those x plus 48 plus 52 all should be equal to 180. So 10 and 100 plus 2x is equal to 180. So 2x equals 180 minus 100. Okay, so then 2x equals 80. X equals 80 divided by 2 gives us 40. Okay. Now, in the 21st question, Hesab buys 40 books for $36. He sells 60% of the books for 1.2 each. He sells the remaining books for 1.5 each. Work out the Hesab's percentage profit. Okay, first we can find how many books are there in 60%. So 40, we can work out the 60%, 60 over 100. 60% books. Number of 60% books. Then we get 24. So how many books are there in 40%? We have 16 books. Okay. So then 60% books he sold for 1.2. Let's find the income in 60% books. So that's 24 times 1.2. and income in 40% books. That's 16 times 1.5. These two gives us 24 times 1.2. That gives us 28.8. This gives us 16 times 1.5, 24. Okay. Now work out Hesat's percentage profit. Okay. So percentage profit, we can get profit divided by the initial amount he uh, profit divided by buying amount, buying price. Profit divided by buying price times 100. Okay. We can get the profit by 28.8 plus 24. From that we have subtract the selling price 36, sorry, buying price, and divide by the buying price 36 times 100. So this will give us the answer. Okay, so we can find it 28, 28.8 plus 24 minus 36 over 36 times 100. Okay, this gives us 46.67. Okay. Then solve this one. Show clear algebraic working. Okay. So P over 3 equals P minus 2 over 5. So what we can do is we can cross multiply. Otherwise, we can multiply both sides by the common denominator. So either way, I'll do 5P equals 3 times P minus 2. Then we get 5P, 3P minus 6. Okay, now get rid of this 3P. I get it to this side. And it is like this. Now we have here 2P minus 6. Divide 2 by 2 both sides. So I get P as equal minus 3. The other way is P over 3 equals P minus 2 over 5. So the common denominator of these two is 50. Multiply both sides by 15. So now the same thing happens. From this onward, this way. And we will get the same answer. Okay. In the 23rd one, we are given this question. So you can see all the things are can be written as powers of 3. Okay. So we can write root 3 as 3 to the power half. 9 as 3 to the power 2. And 3x is here. Okay. We can add these two. Then it will become 3 to the power 5 over 2 and 3 to the power x. Now the bases are same, so this indexes powers should also be same. So x equals 5 over 2, that means 2.5. Okay, thank you very much uh, for watching this video, and I hope and I wish you good luck with your exams. Okay.